it's Angie Nuttle at the VIP Center for Business Women. And I have a wonderful guest with me, and she's already popular. I hear her phone ringing in the background. Hey, Julie Hirschauer.
Hi, Angie.
How are you?
Good, really good. Good to be with you.
Great. I'm happy to have you, and whoever is calling in right now.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's actually an alarm reminding me to pray for the unsaved.
Oh, so do you need to shut that off?
Well, it's not going to go off by itself.
Here, let's just solve this problem right now.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Well, we've already learned something about Julie, that she is a problem solver and she is a prayer.
Pray for the unsaved.
That's awesome. I love that. So that's actually your first tip of the day, right?
That's right.
Set an
That's
alarm, pray for the unsaved. Awesome.
That's right. That's right. They came from the Voice of the Martyrs site. And they ask you every day to pray at a certain time for people, Christians that are being persecuted, and the people that they're talking to.
Yes,
So.
I love that you're connected with them. I'm connected with them also.
Great group.
Yes, Voice of the Martyrs. So if you haven't heard of them, we recommend that you check them out, because we think that we have spiritual warfare here. It's nothing compared to what people are going through who are out on the mission field.
That's right.
Out there being persecuted, tortured. I mean, they have people who are currently in prison that they're praying for and trying to get out. So yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah, they even when they go to prison, they see that as a blessing, because and now they're spreading the gospel not only to the prisoners but to the jailers and all of that. So it's a great organization.
Yeah.
I hope they never have to write a story about me though.
Well, God has you writing a different story right
right.
now, so that's one thing that we're going to talk about this morning. So, first of all, here's what I want to say about Julie. Deep waters. Deep water woman who loves Jesus, who is an intercessor, a teacher, a prayer warrior, and we got connected. Was it at the beginning of the year that we got connected?
Yes. So, yeah.
Yeah. And so we got connected. You kind of did a search for a coach, and I popped up on Google. Is that right?
That's right.
That's right.
That's
So.
right.
So it was interesting. It's like you felt compelled to do that. God connected us together. It was pretty miraculous that happened, supernatural. And then you became a partner for the with the VIP Center to help you to pivot what you're doing in the business world, in the world of ministry. And so here we are together talking about that today.
Best decision ever made.
Oh, I love that you say that. Can I quote you on that?
I'll even write it for you.
Oh, right. Well, yeah, note to self. I like that testimonial.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's just start with telling everybody, well, who are you and what's your background?
So, Julie Hirschauer, and been married to my husband Dennis for 43 years now.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. We graduated from Cincinnati Bible College, and our first ministry was in Canada, right off the coast of Maine. He was the preaching minister there. I was 21 when we went.
21!
21. When Dennis said, when we were dating, and he said he had a really serious thing to talk to me about, and I didn't know if he was going to ask me to marry me or if we were breaking up. I wasn't sure.
That's a frightening position to be in.
But he told me he felt called to go into ministry. And at that time, we started dating when I was 17. I had no idea what that meant. Yeah. And I said, okay. Well, I soon found out.
Yeah.
But our first ministry was in Canada, right off the coast of Maine. It was a gorgeous place, and the women there just loved on me like there was no tomorrow. Yeah. 3 boys born there, and then we moved back to Indiana, our home state, and our 4th son was born there. So, and Dennis has been in the pulpit majority of the time that we've been married. He just retired about a year ago. So,
how's that been?
Actually, it's been good. He still fills it in the pulpit, different county churches and things in Shelby County. But it was time for him. It really was.
Yeah.
So, 3 of the boys are married. We have 7 grandchildren.
Wow.
And
awesome.
so our first business that we started was back in 1998. And basically, we needed to supplement our ministry income. And that's when I realized how much fun business was. It's like a ginormous Monopoly game to me. So,
Tell us more.
So, what's funny is Dennis brings me this advertisement about a cleaning business for sale. And he shows it to me, and I look around at my house, and I think he's got to be out of his mind. But we moved forward, and we bought that, and it was a franchise, and then we bought multiple franchises, and then in 2003, I became a business coach for that franchisor. And so 2003 until just a couple of years ago, I coached all the Indianapolis and Fort Wayne franchisees in business.
Great. That sounds cool.
Yeah. So I sold that business, retired for 6 months, and then put my shingle back out to be a business coach. And I do a bit of that. In the meantime, my mother passed away. So my dad died in 2017. My mom died this year. And
that's actually when we connected, right at that time.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah, I was in your 40-day prayer challenge.
Yeah.
And she died on January 31st. So, which was my father's birthday. It's just perfect.
Wow. I mean, can you just see the connections happening? You know, God doesn't, he doesn't mess around. He made everything is intentional and thoughtful and purposeful.
Yeah. I just, these God moments just continually. I mean, even to the point that my parents' estate and all of that closed on my birthday.
Wow, what a present.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I told my husband, you've been outdone today.
Yeah, I mean, well, and it's nice because, some people aren't that fortunate. Those things can drag on and on and on forever.
Yeah, but it was like of all days for it to close on my birthday. I just saw that as, God just put his arms around me saying, I got you.
Yeah.
So at that point, I just kind of really started evaluating, do I want to stay in as a business coach or do I want to do ministry? And I want to do ministry.
Yeah.
And if I coach along the way, then that's fantastic.
Yeah.
But that's not my primary focus anymore.
Yeah. So for those of you who are joining in, I'm talking to Julie Hirschauer of Chosen Vessel Women's Ministry, and we're getting the scoop on her.
Yes.
And her background. She's a VIP partner with us, and so we do done for you services. We're helping you actually to pivot where you were. So you have been a business coach. Your coaching organization was
Abide Business Coaching.
Yes, Abide Business Coaching, and so really just in the last few weeks, we've put together your website, and so talk about Chosen Vessel Women's Ministry and what was the inspiration for that, and how's what do you see happening there?
Okay, so the name itself comes from my life verse, which is John 15:16, and my paraphrase of that is Jesus is speaking. He says, Julie, I chose you, but I didn't just choose you, I appointed you to bear fruit, but not just any type of fruit that's eternal. Yeah. And therefore, anything you ask in my name, I shall give to you. And so I look at it as I am a chosen vessel to bear fruit that's going to be eternal. So evangelistic, yes. Prayer, yes. Discipleship, yes. And so that's the premise behind it. A number of years ago, I was a young woman with no children, and then children. And being in ministry, I mean, I've seen women in crisis, men in crisis, deaths, suicides, miscarriages. I mean, everything under the sun, God has exposed me to. So I do feel like that I can help women through these things, walk with them. Case in point, just yesterday during one of our calls, I got a phone call that a good friend of mine, her son, whom I knew, was killed in a motorcycle accident, leaving a wife and 2 small children. And I reached out to my friend, and what do I do? And she said, just pray for me.
Yeah.
And so, definitely been on my heart ever since that call came, and praying for her. And she's kind of the pillar of the family.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, I'm holding everybody together, but nobody's holding me.
Yeah.
So my job is to hold her.
It's just such a blessing that you're there and you're present and you're able to do that. Not everybody has the fortitude to do that. You really have to, that really is a gift from God, to be able to go and know what to say and what not to say, and just to comfort women and help them to walk through, allow them to grieve, but also just move them into position to be healed from that.
Yeah. And her grief, I mean, it's present, but it's going to really manifest probably 6 months, 9 months, a year from now.
Yeah.
After, the matriarch of the family is taking care of everybody else.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it's going to hit her.
Yeah.
And I know that God's placed multiple people in her life, and if I can be a part of that, I will. But certainly I am a part of just praying for her right now. And I said just. I mean, it's not just.
Yeah, prayer is pretty powerful.
It is.
It can change everything in just a moment.
Yeah. But, we're not supposed to bury our children. And I was talking to my granddaughter last night about that. And just the cycle of life, and how you just don't know, and how important it is that you tell people that you love them, and that you are just, be kind.
Yeah. Well, and even just being present in the moment. I mean, usually we as women, no matter what season of life we're in, we tend to always be looking ahead at things, and or even being stuck behind.
Right.
And in the meantime, we miss what's happening in the moment, that opportunity. So when I think about your ministry and what you're helping women to do, you're helping them to come back to being present, and to feel rested and rejuvenated and revived.
Yeah. Angie, even on the call that was going on yesterday, the mindset call.
Yes.
It just struck me because, a lot of those ladies that are on that call are still very much in their careers. Mm-hmm. And then they go home and they're taking care of their families and their children and all of that. And it just struck me that, one person said, if I'm not super busy, I just don't know, I don't feel like being productive.
Right.
And I'm so fortunate, because that's in the rearview mirror for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's given me that perspective of we're always productive. Right? The Spirit is always leading us. We just got to open our eyes and see it.
Yeah.
And even if that's just, again, being kind to somebody, smiling in the elevator, whatever, praying for that person in the elevator. That's what I kind of hope I can do. Just help with an alignment of that. We just don't know what role we're playing in people's lives, and we won't know it till we get to heaven. And I think that somebody will walk up to you and say, you don't know this, but
So when we think about chosen vessel women's ministry, you know, as we were talking about, well, who is your target audience? We had some really good conversation about that, and you know, normally I tell people when you're trying to reach out, you're trying to grab the attention. Usually, when you cast a wide net, you're going to get. But we had some discussion about this, and so thinking about your ministry, which is also a ministry that needs to be able to support you financially. You know, who are the typical women? You know, or what would you say is the ideal woman or women who would connect well with you in the Chosen Vessel ministry?
Well, you know, I'm still casting that wide net, but I understand in business, you know, you need a more of a rifle approach than a shotgun approach. And so, you know, having been in ministry for so long, it's a tough gig.
Yeah.
You know, our background is the independent Christian church, and so the pay's not great.
Yeah.
And so typically they expect the pastor's wife to, though she's not paid, to work.
Yeah.
Right. And you know, our husbands, they go through such warfare in the church, which is crazy. But it happens. Everybody brings their own stuff, right? And she has to watch it. You know, and I think we can handle anything that comes directly at us, but when we see somebody hurt our husbands or our children, whether it be intentional or not intentional, that's a tough place to be.
Right.
And when you're outspoken, it's really tough.
Because maybe as a pastor's wife, you want to just sort of throat punch people, right?
That's right. And I may or may not have one sometimes. But so I see a need there, but I also see a need for women that are in the second season of life. You know, now what?
Yeah.
So you know, I'm in the process of writing a book, and one of the people I interviewed, she was in her 90s, and was incredibly active in her entire life, and now physically she can't do it.
Right.
Mentally she's there.
Yeah.
But she's such a mature person. She sees that this season I'm the prayer warrior that I've never ever been.
Yeah.
Right. So I think, you know, those categories, but also, you know, as women that have gone through those childbearing years, we have a perspective.
Yeah.
I think. And you know, and grandmothers have a perspective.
So what I hear from you is that it's not that you're going to turn anybody away.
No.
That comes for. I mean, really, it's ideal for anyone who, you know, any woman who they need a new perspective. Mm-hmm. They need to reset. They need to glean wisdom from someone who's been through there and can guide them through. But it's also for just for the women that are tired and they're in a different season in life and they're trying to figure out where to go.
Yeah. And sweet fellowship, right?
Yeah.
It can get pretty lonely.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I mean, that's what I've enjoyed the most, I think, about the VIP Center, is I've met so many women that I'm like-minded with.
Right.
And they're all at different stages. And they all have their own perspectives of things. But I honestly feel like that I could call on anybody and they'd be here just like that for me.
Yeah.
And I desire to build upon that community, but also create that community. You know, who is God going to bring into my sphere?
Yeah.
And how are our two spheres, how they're going to intersect?
Yeah. And I look at it like this. So, you know, our focus at the VIP Center, we're focused on women who are in business. We have a faith-based aspect to what we do. Well, for me, it's primary. It's the driver. It's like you. That's what's driving us. And so that is our primary focus, to help women to be about the Father's business and to help them to, to launch that, or, scale that, or, and make God first in their life. When I think about your ministry, and just from working on all of your stuff, you really have a focus on the emotional, the emotional aspects, the healing aspects, more of the interpersonal kinds of things. And so you're getting ready to start the Chosen Vessel community. Yeah.
Yes.
You're going to start that community.
That's right.
And, what do you envision happening in the Chosen Vessel community for women?
Well, going back to the fellowship piece, but also, the first thing we're going to do is choose Tuesdays, which is just a mindset.
Yeah.
I'm going to choose to say that today is okay, even if it's not okay, because God's got. He knows everything that's going on. Nothing surprises him. Right. Years ago, they had the Women of Faith conferences that were all over the nation, with Lucy Swindoll and that group, Marilyn Mayberg. But they had what was called the Women of Faith prayer that you started the day out with, and that was, Lord, let me see that any interruption in this day was ordained by you.
Yeah, that's great.
So now there's no problems.
Right. That's right.
If the train's going across the track and I'm late for work, that was ordained.
Yeah.
Or maybe I should have got up earlier, but whatever. But it's a different mindset, right?
Right.
So I'm going to choose today, on this Tuesday, to be joyful, to be happy. And it is, the scripture, take every thought captive. And Paul's directive, think on things that are good and all of that.
Yeah.
So, I hope that'll be a mental reset for whoever, whether they have little ones around and the house is a mess, or they just had a fight with their spouse. I'm going to choose today to have the mindset of being joyful. And so whatever that is.
Yeah, and so just to clarify about the community that Julie's going to be starting, it really is an epicenter for emotional and spiritual support. And I know that you have some great things planned for that. You're looking at creating a community where you can get into the Word deeper together, where you can just provide some of that inspiration and the intercessory prayer. So I think that you have a few goodies that you're going to be bringing along as a part of that community.
That's right. We're going to go slow, and I'm going to just listen to the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
But I'm also going to listen to the women and what their needs are, right? And try to provide that, whether that be through me or through another partner within the ministry that says, this, I love this part of it. So whether, maybe somebody comes around and they have that giftedness of choosing joy.
Yeah.
And it's a natural thing for them. For me, it's a reminder. And when I'm going through dark times, I will set my phone alarm to just say, okay, in all things give thanks. All things give thanks. All things give thanks.
That's a great practice too.
Yeah. So, we've got that going on, and then we'll be adding Fridays. I think sometimes we get the weekend comes and we just go. But I think it would be really good for us to be intentional on the weekend. And so intentional in relationships. So, maybe you and your son are going to go on a date night, or, you and your daughter, or you and your husband, or maybe you're going to go take the whole family and you're going to go visit an older person that's shut in. So hopefully can create this community where we all share ideas of
Right.
things to do. This is going on in Indianapolis. Oh, really? I didn't know that. That
Yeah.
would be a fun thing for the family.
Yeah.
And maybe you can take the neighborhood kid with you.
Yeah.
You know.
So a true community is what you're looking to create there.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're running out of time, but I do want everyone to know how to get in touch with you. So how can they get in touch with you?
So just go on the web, chosenvesselministry.com, and that's where you'll find me, and can sign up for different things. We'll have a retreat likely in the fall coming up,
Yeah.
and then just finished a Bible study. We'll have another one, I imagine in August we'll start another one.
Yeah.
And I like to do short ones, 4 to 6 weeks,
Yeah.
and that type of thing. So
Okay.
lots of cool things going to happen, and if you have great ideas, then just tell me what they are and we'll make it happen.
All right. Well, and just to reiterate, you can learn more about Julie at www.chosenvesselministry.com. And I do encourage you to go to her website. She does have a gift for you on there. You've got a downloadable 5-day devotional,
Yeah.
which is awesome. It's beautiful and it's awesome, well written. So you can get that for free and get on Julie's list to start following her and learning more about the opportunities that she is providing. Julie, thank you,
Thank you
for
Angie.
being here today. I love talking with you, and I'm excited about what God's going to do in your life.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, everybody, listen. I hope that you have a great day, and I do want to remind you that next Friday we have 2 coffee talks. We actually have Millicent Driver, who is going to be with us, and then we have an exclusive interview with Jamie Rettenauer, who has been running for governor's office. So you'll want to tune into that to find out what happened after the first round of elections for Jamie and how she's pivoting her campaign to stay in the race and really make a difference for the kingdom of God. So would love for you to be on next Friday. We have Millicent going to be at 9 o'clock Eastern, and then we'll have Jamie on at 9:30 a.m. So have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for all of your comments and joining us. We'll see you soon. Bye.